During World War II, soldiers and engineers faced a critical problem. Wood, a primary construction material for bunkers, vehicles, and even aircraft, was far too vulnerable. A single burst of bullets, shrapnel, or splintering could compromise a shelter, a bridge, or a transport crate. Yet, in laboratories and field workshops, a seemingly simple additive transformed ordinary timber into a material capable of resisting extreme impacts. Today, this forgotten World War II paint additive is resurfacing in historical accounts, and the science behind it still holds lessons for survivalists, woodworkers, and historians alike. Understanding this method is not only a glimpse into wartime ingenuity, but also a chance to explore techniques that can enhance wood durability in modern projects. How scientists turned paint into armor for wood. The key to this innovation was deceptively simple. It wasn't the wood itself that became bulletproof, but the coating applied to it. Researchers in wartime Germany and Britain discovered that mixing fine metallic powders, often aluminum or iron oxide, into oil-based paint significantly increased a wood surface's hardness and impact resistance. When the paint cured, it created a rigid outer layer that absorbed and dispersed the energy from bullets or shrapnel, preventing splintering and structural compromise. This process was meticulously documented in field manuals, yet it was largely abandoned after the war in favour of modern synthetic laminates and plastics, which were cheaper and easier to produce in peacetime. Untreated wood, even hardwoods, has a weakness. Its fibres split under concentrated force. A rifle round, or even a heavy-caliber machine gun, could easily penetrate a plank, sending splinters in unpredictable directions. The paint additive addressed this by creating a surface that combined rigidity with energy dispersion. Essentially, the metallic powders acted as microscopic armor plating, transferring force laterally across the wood instead of allowing a single point to fail. The oil-based matrix held these particles together and adhered strongly to the wood fibers, further stabilizing the structure. In effect, the coating turned everyday planks into a first line of defense, capable of absorbing impacts that would otherwise destroy them. Field engineers and military contractors applied the additive selectively, targeting high-risk areas such as doors, transport crates for ammunition, and critical wooden walls in bunkers. The process required, well, careful preparation. Wood surfaces had to be sanded and cleaned to ensure proper adhesion, and the paint mixture had to be applied in multiple thin coats, with each one cured before the next. This painstaking approach made sure that the metallic particles were evenly distributed and that the paint really adhered fully to the wood fibres. The result was wood capable of withstanding small arms fire, and in some cases even reducing splintering from larger calibers. Interestingly, this wasn't limited to defensive structures. Some experimental aircraft panels and vehicle interiors were treated with the additive to protect pilots and crews from fragments. Although production scale was, limited by wartime material shortages, surviving manuals reveal precise formulations, detailed application techniques, and even tips for maintenance in field conditions. For modern historians, survivalists or woodworkers interested in durable wood coatings, the principle behind the Second World War additive is, well, still applicable, though it's been modified for safety and accessibility. Instead of powdered metals, which can be a bit hazardous to handle, non-toxic alternatives like fine ceramic powders or commercially available metal flakes can be blended into oil-based paints or epoxy coatings. The key remains the same. Prepare the wood surface thoroughly, apply multiple thin layers, and allow each to cure fully before the next. Even without turning wood fully bulletproof, this method significantly increases resistance to impact, splintering, and abrasion. For outdoor shelters, garden structures, or historic restorations, these techniques offer a historical edge that modern coatings alone simply cannot replicate. Another practical application is in reinforcing wooden crates, doors, or storage units in off-grid or survival settings. Coating the wood with a high-viscosity paint infused with hard particles protects contents and enhances structural longevity, effectively applying a centuries-old principle adapted from a very modern conflict. After the war, attention shifted to mass-produced plastics, laminates, and modern synthetic paints that offered convenience over ingenuity. The World War II paint additive method was labour-intensive, requiring careful layering, precise ratios, and curing time. Practical in wartime with specialised workshops, but inconvenient for civilian production. However, rediscovering it today allows us to appreciate the clever solutions engineers devised under extreme constraints, turning necessity into innovation. It reminds us that, sometimes the simplest methods, when combined with precise materials science, achieve results that modern shortcuts really struggle to replicate. The story of the forgotten World War II paint additive teaches a broader lesson about resilience and ingenuity. Ordinary wood became extraordinarily durable through human insight and experimentation. By revisiting these methods, serious historians and survival enthusiasts can gain not only practical techniques, but also a deeper appreciation for the problem-solving mindset of the past. Whether applied in restoration projects, survival shelters, or experimental woodworking, the underlying principle, combining natural fibres with reinforcing particles to absorb force, remains as relevant today as it did on the battlefields of the 1940s. If this insight into wartime innovation intrigued you, make sure to subscribe to In the Beginning and share this video with fellow history enthusiasts. The past is full of forgotten techniques that can still teach us how to survive, build, and innovate under pressure. And you won't want to miss the next hidden gem uncovered from the pages of history.